Hello, and welcome to episode 84 of Anime Territory. I am your host this week, Benjamin Shabbing, and with me as always is my co-host, Johnny Cake Puncher Ruhal. And we have special guests today, Brock and Alex.
Returning guests.
Returning guests.
This is the movie crew, by the way.
Okay.
This is our movie nights. Just, I don't know. That
We'll
I don't know why I need to tell that, but they come over every Tuesday anyway. So, hey, you should watch this, and then we can record an episode on it.
And I curse you every Tuesday, Johnny.
Yeah, not every Tuesday.
To be fair, Alex, you're new to movie night, and all we've done so far is watch Satoshi Kon and Tropic Thunder.
To be fair, I watched another movie with you, and that was just as fuck.
Yeah. We watched. I showed him Night is Short, Walk On Girl, which is a very interesting movie and great. It
is a good movie. Yes.
Have I shown you a bad movie, Alex?
No.
That's what I thought. All right, because trust me, if movie night continues, it's coming.
Yes.
Mostly from me.
Today, though, we're talking about Paranoia Agent.
Which, like we mentioned, we've been watching Satoshi Kon, so we're like, hey, you guys should just go ahead and watch Paranoia Agent.
Yes.
And we can talk about it. This is a movie. This is a show I watched a long time ago. I want to say early college days, late high school maybe.
Same boat. I have certain memories of it, but I don't remember anything about it.
There are things that I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. I thought I remembered more of this. But really, I just remember a lot of, the end stuff and how, I didn't remember some of the other stuff that happens.
I just remember a little slugger hitting things with bats.
I remember that, too. So I remember a lot of the beginning and the end. And then, it's the middle where I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's an episode that happened. I don't remember this episode. Okay. Dragon Quest references? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Full-on video game episode.
So, Brock, did you have any previous experience with this show?
No. I went into the show blind. I didn't even read any reviews or the description. I'm like, alright, I guess I'm watching this.
Yeah. That's basically
you watched it all Sunday, right? We're recording on a Tuesday. You watched it all Sunday?
Most Sunday and then last of it yesterday.
Okay.
Interesting.
We split this up into 2 viewings. We got 7 episodes in and we're like, I kind of need a break. I need a few hours before I go to sleep where there's not Paranoia Agent in my brain.
That was the perfect cutoff, too.
Yeah, we cut off at episode 7, which is...
We'll talk about it later.
I think that's when I also cut it off. I'm like, no.
Where it starts to be hey, we're shifting focus a little bit. Here's an episode that has nothing to do with anything.
I watched episode 1, waited a couple weeks, watched 2 through 8, and I was like, wait, what?
Okay, so let's get, I guess, first impressions. Let's start with Brock. What are your what's your impression of this?
It's a journey is the best way I can describe it without getting into detail.
You can go into a little detail.
Just don't spoil anything.
It was one of those shows I'm like, I don't really like this at the beginning. I'm like, what is this? I don't really like a lot of shows that just go to random mini story arcs, and that's kind of what this felt like until the end. So I'm like, why am I watching this?
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, I think I described it mostly with just wait, what? And then that happened.
And then what happened?
And then that other thing happened.
Oh.
And then there was those people who were trying to do with it? What? Yeah. It was a fun time.
Johnny?
I think I liked it less this time than when I first watched it.
Okay.
Maybe because I knew all the path we were going down, the twists and the turns, so it wasn't as exciting, if that makes any sense. It was still really good. It was still really well executed, but I just wasn't like this, that I love that feeling of, wait, what? It's interesting. Huh. Let me think about that for a second. Huh. Whereas this time I'm just like, yeah, the dog talks. Okay.
I mean, that happened in episode 1.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I gave that as an example, Alex, because it's from episode 1. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Because I knew weirdness about it. It was like
You weren't surprised by anything, really.
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
So it didn't like take me on that journey.
See, that's like the exact opposite of how I feel. I feel like I'd probably like it better on a rewatch.
Well, in some shows I do like better on a rewatch where I can pick up on those things. And I don't know, it just this time it was maybe because I'm so inundated by Cohn's movies right now that I'm just like, this isn't quite doing what the movies do for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Or
again,
maybe it's because I'm just watching with Shabs who can't react, whereas when I'm watching the movies with you guys who haven't seen them, I just
What do you mean
I just
can't react?
I just live off of the energy of
What?
like yes, the confusion, mellowing it good.
Trying to solve the movie before it ends, and Giants, I got
Brock's
just
like talking. I'm like, just shut up. Just watch.
Just watch. You're not going to figure it out.
I can try.
Look, man, some movies are atmospheric. You just gotta not break the atmosphere. All right. And those are Satoshi Kon movies. I don't want you asking questions in the middle of it. Just go with it, and I'll answer your questions at the end. And yeah, what do you mean you don't react? Well, what do you think I mean by you don't react?
What do you mean I don't react? I was going, what?
I don't know. You have very, very subdued reactions. It wasn't.
I feel like this time, though, I was like, I'd seen all those movies, so I'm like
Yeah.
in the same boat as you. It was just like, I just want to see these two react.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah. Well, I guess thinking of like Sunny Boy, we were both reacting like crazy
Okay.
at the end of every episode of Sunny Boy. So you did
I
have
feel
some
like our
energy there.
reactions to Paranoia Agent.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the mood we were in. I feel like we were just like, okay, next episode. Like,
Well, I thought the show was great. I liked it.
oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't like it as much this time, but I still think it's like a
Yeah.
9 or a 10. Like,
Somebody who's first time watching it, I like it when things are like kind of episodic like that, or maybe not episodic, but like they're weird. They like take their own.
or it's
like
each-
we're going down this path. I didn't expect that to be where we went.
Mhm.
You know, like I thought we'd pick up right where we left off, but no, we're meandering a little bit here.
Yeah. Like I would say the first 5 episodes are kind of just each an individual character based, which for the most part I really liked because I thought it was interesting.
It's like there's an overarching storyline, but like each episode is like a self-contained kind of thing.
Yes.
The main character isn't any one specific. It's the city and
It's
the event.
it's this set of
Kind of,
characters.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's like you're kind of dealing with, and I don't remember any characters' names. You're kind of dealing with
That's
the
why I pulled up
creator.
this.
You're dealing with Liam O'Brien's character, and
Manawa.
you're dealing Manawa, the like assistant detective,
Him
and you're
and
dealing with the chief.
Ikari.
And it's sort of those 3 people with like, okay, and then like Little Slugger is the one consistent, but he's not really a character, if that makes sense. He's a force.
He is kind of the antagonist-ish.
I mean, he is.
He is the
Yes.
antagonist, but he's not
He's
like,
he's more like,
and he is sort of sentient, but not necessarily at the beginning. He's more just a force, which is, you know, I don't
Yeah,
get.
that
I just
was
don't think I
actually
can
a
call him a
representation
character.
of something else through the whole movie,
What?
or through the whole show. That little slugger was a representation of
Oh, okay.
something that's very common in highly stressed people.
I got you.
Yeah, he is escapism.
I was
what-
thinking depression
Well,
because, well,
he's not.
Everyone he
He's not
affects-
that. He affects people that are backed into a corner. So I mean, we're gonna kind of go into spoilers now. I guess.
this kinda
I mean, you're
order
leading.
Well, let's. You want to give ratings real quick?
Yeah, well, I already gave mine.
Okay.
9. I'll say 9.5. 9.5 to a 10.
Alex?
8.8.
that's 6. I didn't like this that much. I will. But if you're someone that enjoys things like Cowboy Bebop and like
You
Space
just
Race-
really don't like the episodic nature.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I really don't
Wow,
think this.
I'm
This is
never
nowhere
been a fan
near
of
as
that.
episodic.
Yeah, that.
Like Cowboy Bebop was very much like, it was hard for me and Ben to watch Cowboy Bebop as a binge watch because it's so
Oh,
episodic.
yeah, you like throw an episode on. That's about it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like
But we tried to binge it. That was our
Yeah.
problem. You can't
because
really
I'm like
binge
I
it.
was
You
trying to-
can, but
But,
it's
we were 18. I was trying to get Ben to watch anime some summer break, and I'm like, well, let's watch all Cowboy Bebop. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's very much like, I guess I'm done with this after an episode. So it's hard to keep you on edge.
That's why I
With
think
Paranoia Agent, I'm like, yeah, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So
I was going to give it about an 8.5. I think it's really good. There are a couple, not issues with it, but I think like
the show makes me uncomfortable.
Consistency issues, I would say. I think some episodes are better than others, which that's just the flaw of some TVs. It's just you're going to have some
goods and bads
with episodes typically. Other than that, it's really good.
What was your number rating?
Like 8.5.
Okay.
So, do we just want to go into like plot stuff now?
Yeah, let's throw spoilers from here on forward. So, so I got a thing to say. Let's start with that, I guess.
Okay.
'Cause it's related to our conversation before we broke to give rankings there. So, like, I don't think Little Slugger is a personification of depression. He is a personification of like an out. He is him and Moromi. When they say like you and Moromi are the same thing, it's because they serve the same function. They are an escape. It's like, oh, I don't have to go to work tomorrow because I broke my leg.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about things. I can just watch this cute little dog. And I don't have to think about things.
But then you get the episode like with the two kids where he's like, oh, if I just take care of him. But that's a very dark thing. And then in the later episodes where it's the wife.
The
and she was in a very depressive state because of her health.
Yeah, but
no,
she got past it because
she's not necessarily depressed. It's more she's looking for an escape for her like disease.
Well, okay. So she may be depressed, but Little Slugger is not depression. Little Slugger is giving in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not just depression that he's giving into. It's like, I don't want to think about how my dad jerks off to pictures of me, so I'd really like to escape that situation.
Most
if I could just forget things.
right there.
God, I hated that guy.
Fuck that guy.
God.
This show
Even
is very
before you
uncomfortable.
found that.
Yeah.
That was like...
Well, like, when you're like, okay...
He was the center focus of what? Episode 3? 4.
Mm-hmm. He was at the end of episode 3, like, we caught Little Slugger. And then... It's just
episode
like,
4, you're just like, Little Slugger. I'm like, yeah! You got him, that son of a
But he
bitch.
was in episode 3 because he... episode 3 focused on the split personality girl.
Oh, yeah.
Marumi/Maria.
And Maria... He was one of Maria's clients.
Yeah.
And would, like... When she stopped being available as a client, he's like, I'll get this young girl, and she's got to call me daddy. And it's like, all right, well, fuck this guy, because I know he's got a daughter. He said so. Yeah. He's got a daughter.
Yeah, and then, like, there's the implication with the little girl, the people he was robbing at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was heavily implied. I think that...
I'm pretty sure that happened. Yeah.
I think that helped me going like, I don't really like this that much. You're like, this
yeah,
ain't-
it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There are parts of this show that are very, very uncomfortable. In fact, episode 8, which is the episode where, it's we broke right before that, you broke right after that.
Yeah.
I think. That is the episode where it's just like, hey, it's no longer about the Little Slugger investigation, like, whatsoever.
That, like, episode 7 is where Ikari and Menewa essentially get fired.
Yeah, because the kid somehow was able to commit suicide in his jail cell, but it's like, no, he was actually hit by the real Little Slugger.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, oh, this isn't just a
So his escape was literal death.
Yeah.
Is that what it was implied?
Yeah, he wanted... The only way out that he could think of was death. And so that is what Little Slugger provided. And now Little Slugger has finally crossed the line. And that's almost all that Little Slugger provides after that. Okay. So, like, if we talk about his victims...
Before,
it's his creator or whatever.
Yeah, Tsukiko.
Yeah. Her out was like, hey, I can't I can't deal with the stress of work. I need to just like have a minor injury or an incident,
so the pressure
gets relieved, sort of thing, which is a very temporary fix, by the way. That's the other thing about this is that if he's not giving you a permanent solution, it's a very escapism is very temporary. It doesn't actually help in the long run.
Like, it was her that got him to knock out the reporter dude, the Kawazu.
Yeah, but that was also sort of, he had been backed into a corner with like, I need to pay this guy off.
But
and
he never paid the guy off even after that.
No, but
he was able to get
his story though, was sort of the thing.
Yeah.
And like, he could also be like, hey, I can't pay you back because now I'm injured myself. Like,
would you say like his escape was that he actually got the story he needed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
him becoming a victim makes his story
makes the story something easier for him to get and write there.
Okay.
The next one was the little kid.
Mm-hmm. Yuichi.
Now
I hated that kid.
the fat
little shit.
Yes.
The fat kid.
I love this episode. I thought this episode was great.
I started off hating it, and then I'm like, you know what? This is fine.
The episode was kind of enjoyable. It was kind of nice seeing the perfect kid break.
This kid is a little shit. I don't like him, but then slowly you're like, oh man, this kind of sucks for him.
Yeah,
I can see where he came from, I guess, or whatever.
So it's important to note here that the little slugger who hits his the fat kid that he sees as like his enemy or whatever, that is not little slugger. That is
a
Fox.
Fake slugger.
Yeah.
Is it?
Fox is.
Yeah.
It's the same guy.
Yeah.
From episode 8. Like that's him. So that's him like thinking like, oh, this is who I need to. This is who I need to like hit or whatever. So like the fat kid was not backed into a corner, but the real little slugger shows up for the kid that we've been following this whole time when he's backed into a corner. And his escape is, now I'm a victim, now people will stop saying that I'm the real one. Mm-hmm. You know, like, so again, he provided...
Because his whole story was like, popular kid in school, running for student council president.
Baseball player.
New guy, fat kid, comes in, running for president. He's like, why is this guy doing it? Eventually... There's rumors spread that he's a little slugger.
Just because he uses golden roller blades and wears a baseball cap.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also in baseball and carries a bat around all the time.
Yeah. So he gets alienated at school. Eventually, kind of gets to him.
Yeah, because he fits the description, so people spread rumors.
But that's also just him almost implying that's what people are saying when you can't hear.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, I think, actual bullying is going on.
Yes.
But also I think he's blowing it way out of proportion at times, which, you know, is paranoia at work there.
You said the line.
It's some sort of like agent of paranoia, something like that. A paranoia agent, if you will. We didn't take the shots of Malort that we were thinking about beforehand. Oh no!
Dang.
Whatever will we do?
Bad luck.
Yeah, we can still do it.
Okay. But so that was his escape. The next victim was the split Harumi / Maria, who have like a split personality, and her escape was sort of like her personality finally like disappearing.
Yes.
But as is implied in like the last episode,
it didn't.
Like she came back. Again, it wasn't like a permanent fix. Her permanent fix would have been dealing with the problem.
Going through therapy and telling her
fiance and working out some sort of deal with Maria instead of just trying to pretend she doesn't exist and force her out of like it's.
I really like that episode too.
That episode, I don't know.
That was
that one makes me feel icky too.
Yeah.
Anytime a show like this deals with like characters having sex, I'm like, why is sex so icky? Why does this make me feel bad and horny at the same time? I don't like this feeling.
To be fair, it's
guilt.
escort type service, so
yeah, there's a lot of bad things about that, and I don't. And it's fine when media like that makes me uncomfortable, but I have to say, like, yeah, these subjects are uncomfortable. They make me feel uncomfortable. Same with the episode, the next episode,
episode 4.
The with the character that we all hate. It's
Hiro
just like,
Kawa.
incest is disgusting.
And that's doesn't even get shown really in that episode.
This episode, we just find out he's a crooked cop
who takes advantage of his pimp.
Yeah.
And then the pimp's boss takes advantage of him.
Yeah. So now he's like stealing stuff to pay back his debt that he owes.
That keeps going up because he can't quite.
And then he eventually takes it too far.
Yeah.
Well, the guy gives him a pill.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which I'm like, now you're just getting him addicted to drugs, like this. It's very much had a first one's free
bringing you
sort
like
of vibe
2
to me.
million yen a week.
Yeah. 4 million.
I was just really hoping whenever
I'm sorry, it's 8 million.
I was really hoping when he was riding the bike, he just like kept going until he hit something that forced him to stop. Like, all right, he got his desserts. Next episode, please.
No,
Instead he gets hit in the
no,
back of
bad
the
people don't get their desserts in this.
No.
Just sympathetic characters that get shitty things happening to them.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little bit of a relief at the end, but then, hey, guess what? Years later, we're right back where we started. So he didn't really have, since again, he didn't get attacked by the real little slugger. He got attacked by the copycat fox. Yep. But then after that, we're dealing with that kid, and that is when Little Slugger finally kills somebody because the only out. Well, first of all, the kid wanted to die before he became.
Well,
episode 8 reveals that the kid wanted to commit suicide, but before he did that, he was going.
In episode 5, that's the video game episode.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're just skipping that video game episode.
Yeah,
which is fine. I didn't really care for that episode.
It was fun. It was a fun episode. It was like almost lighthearted to an extent.
I think that's
for that series, for this whole series, it was lighthearted.
For me, that episode felt too out of reach, I guess.
Well, it was the first.
Of the other.
If the episode would have happened later on, it would have made it kind of would have fit in better.
I think so, yeah.
Because this is the first taste we get of reality is not so cut and dry as far as like, hey. Which Cone loves to play with, as you now know from watching all of his movies.
Yeah.
It's very much a, hey, what is reality and our perception of reality is so fragile. And, like, this episode sort of has the Millennium Actress vibe, where you're like, I guess we're part of this story. And it's not like... Mm-hmm. Like, that big of a deal.
We're in Dragon Quest now.
It really helps... when you know the artwork for Dragon Quest, and you're like, that is literally the Dragon Quest 1 armor. And, like, he's holding the Dragon Quest 1 sword. Like, he's holding the sword of Erdrick.
And then, like, that whole motif comes back in, like, later episodes.
10,
11, and 12.
Yeah,
it comes back in, like, the last
very end, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of the opposite. I'm like, why are they indulging this kid? But I was thinking more of, like, they're just following this kid's, craziness, believing he's all this.
Well,
not that this was an actual paranoia.
Maniwa was like getting the story out of him. Yeah, is what was happening, and the other police officer was like, "Fucking, you did it, right?"
They were basically doing bad cop, good cop.
They were basically doing, talk about your delusions, cop, and what the fuck is wrong with you? Just give me a straight answer, cop. Which kind of plays into, like, later on that character's theme of, like, there's no place for my type of cop work anymore. I'm an old-fashioned guy, and this is not an old-fashioned world.
No. And the other guy going just completely...
off the deep end.
But I feel like it was so intentionally off the deep end. He's just like, I need to immerse myself in this alternate reality in order to combat this supernatural threat that is this very real but very not real supernatural threat that is Little Slugger. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I really love Liam. Sorry, he's voiced by Liam O'Brien, who's one of my favorite voice actors. And it's just like, this is some good stuff. This is like up there. Have you guys seen Ergo Proxy?
Yes.
Liam O'Brien plays the main dude in Ergo Proxy in the dub as well.
He plays Vincent?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! I never realized that.
We're gonna watch Ergo Proxy again soon.
Oh yeah. Ergo Proxy's great.
Have you seen Ergo Proxy, Brock?
Nope.
Don't. It's the same thing. Don't go. It's not. As
Don't look
icky.
shit up. Just watch it.
It's not as icky as this show is, but it very much benefits from like I have no idea what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
The only thing that ruins it. Well, I'll say this too. You should borrow my DVDs because if you watch it on streaming, they take out the original ending, which the original ending song is literally just "Paranoid Android" by Radiohead.
All right.
But you can't get that ending if you watch it on Hulu or whatever because of copyright issues with this song. But the only thing that ruins Ergo Proxy for me a little bit is the creator was just like, yeah, I don't really necessarily know what the English words ergo and proxy mean, but they sound really cool together.
Yeah.
Like that is... Alright, man. Whatever.
He's got a point.
Ergo proxy, the actual definition of those words, has nothing to do with the show.
Okay.
Not a damn thing.
So then, episode 6 was... That's kind of the beginning of kind of figuring out what's actually happening.
Yeah.
We've gotten these 5 like kind of self-contained character episodes with the theme of Little Slugger showing up. Now we figured out what
the episode where they talk to the homeless woman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And where you find out how she actually got hurt in the first episode of self.
Yeah.
It was self-inflicted.
Yeah. And that's why I'm
Or
like,
was it?
well, that's where I...
Oh, this is the Takeo episode. This is where we figure out what the shitty
The cop was doing
piece of
it.
shit was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
Because she's like, here's this story of my granddaughter. But it's like, nope. That's... Then we cut to like a young girl. I'm like, oh, I guess this is her granddaughter. Nope. Unrelated. This is the cop's daughter.
I thought she was the cop's like wife for some reason. No.
Nope,
Yeah,
unrelated to the cop. Because her
completely.
granddaughter shows up in the hospital later and it's a completely different person.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, oh yeah.
Do you notice one of the nurses in this show looks like, was it Kyoko?
Yeah.
The nurse from
Tokyo Godfather?
Yeah.
Tokyo Godfathers.
I did. I'm like,
Yes.
like, I don't know if I feel like I want this world to be part of that movie.
That movie was great.
I know.
We'll talk about it some other time. Possibly next episode. Movie crew might be back.
But yeah, we get that story, and then Tsukiko's being interrogated again by the cops because now that they know it was self-inflicted, and Little Slugger hits her again.
Yeah.
In front of the cops.
In front of the cops.
But also, like, invisibly.
Invisibly, yeah.
She gets up and literally just gets knocked out into the ground. Like, she gets full on.
And it happens at the same time, the exact, like, hour and minute that that the guy in the fake Little Slugger gets hit.
No, the same time that the girl gets hit.
Oh, it's the same time the girl gets hit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She gets hit, and now she has
So I was also thinking she was
her
remembering the past that gets revealed at the very end. Where
but she
was thinking of that.
She was calling her dad and saying, "I was going to make you lose everything."
No, not that little girl. The the main character, the creator of Little Slugger.
Tsukiko.
Like she was thinking in her past about what, in a sense, triggers all of this. When she then gets hit,
she was going through her own like.
Again, I think it was just a skip of her getting interrogated.
Yeah, she it was getting way too close to the truth, and she just kind of yeah.
She is escaping her own blame,
Yeah.
like,
or as it's saying, she's repressing her memories.
Yeah.
So, episode 7, it is revealed that the little slugger, fake slugger, only attacked the fat kid and the old man. And that the police officer, Aniwa, is going crazy. Starts dreaming about that old man. So I guess this is the episode
this is the episode where, like, after the end, he gives, like, his, like, broadcast of, like, he's still out there. Yeah. Which is really cool audio clips.
Yeah.
Anime YouTuber, one of the biggest anime YouTubers, Giguk, back in the day, he had he did an AMV that was sort of Paranoia Agent, sort of Evangelion, sort of something else. and he would just like intersperse like sound clips from the shows, and that was one of them. Was like, he's still out there, and it's like, so like that line gives me goosebumps because I have a social. I'll have to show you the AMV after we're done recording here, but
yeah, I guess this episode he kind of figures out what's happening.
Yeah, he's starting to understand that this is something supernatural,
yes,
in nature, and cognitive in nature,
and also,
but very much dangerous and real. Yes. The danger is real.
Yeah.
Then Fake Slugger is killed. Yeah. He commits suicide.
Supposedly.
Leads to the firing of Maniwa and Akari.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's something like it was on your watch, and somebody needs to take responsibility.
Then episode 8 is where things just get weird for a little bit.
Yeah, they're like, let's take a few detours here. So we're going to follow these 3 characters who want to commit suicide, and 2 of them don't want one of them to commit suicide because they're like, shit, you're a little girl. You're too young.
Fuyabachi and Zebra.
Yeah. This is where I'm like, wait, what?
I like this episode.
Same.
I also hated this episode.
So it's revealed at the end, you guys were talking about this before we were recording. It's revealed at the end that they've been dead for who knows how long. When do you think we saw their deaths?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I want to rewatch the episode just to see at what point do they not have shadows.
So here's...
you're thinking between each of the attempts?
It has to be before the train.
It is before the train. So it's either their first suicide attempt, or it is before they even meet.
I personally think it might be before they even meet.
Now, the reason why I just want to go ahead and clarify why it's before the train is because that other person jumps in front of the train, and then after the fact, he limps out, and he's like, man, that sucked. And it's like, Zebra, the gay guy, he's like, huh. Nobody else is noticing this happening?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's him. That's like a ghost. That's the ghost of the dude who jumped in front of the train.
Yeah.
So, like, he's noticing ghosts right away.
Like, at the same time, it's like, how often do you see anybody react to them? For that matter.
Not
often. Yeah, that's where I'm like, why are people fine with this old man who looks like he's from the 1800s? And this large man just carry away a small girl. It's like, is no one going to stop this? Please.
It's very much like it either... So their first plan... When we watched this episode, we didn't have like the English subtitles on because what we needed to have on was like the text translation subtitles, which we turned on eventually. So like we weren't like seeing the conversations in the chat. We're like, that's in Japanese. That might be important.
Yeah, that's very important.
I'm like, I think it's a suicide pact from like the implication. It's like, this is an episode I do not remember from the first time I watched this show. So, I'm like, I think that's the hints that I'm getting. And we turned them on eventually. We're like, okay, yeah, sure enough, that's what it was. But it's like, it's possible. So we didn't know like what they were trying when they were taking all those pills in that building. But they were trying to die of carbon monoxide poisoning.
It's probably sleeping pills because then they can just pass out and then...
Yeah.
The carbon monoxide poisoning kills them. So it possibly happened then. Or it possibly happened before they met up.
But I thought after... Because after that, I thought then they go and try the train.
Train's after that, yeah.
Yeah, the train is right after that. So that's how But the ghost that we see at the end of the train is either that guy can see ghosts or he's already a ghost himself. So...
or it's just them already being ghosts, not believing they're dead and still trying in it.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they're already ghosts, they just don't realize it yet.
Like, Little Slugger even...
Little Slugger is scared of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, you're Little Slugger, do it! And he's like, oh.
Well, and it's like, you could take that as like, I don't know how to deal with people being happy to see me, or you can take that as, holy fuck, these are other supernatural beings. And I don't want to deal with their shit right now.
Or it's the fact that, like, they aren't backed into a corner.
Yeah, it's true. They're like...
Even though they say there that they want to die and they see no other way.
Yeah. Well, the girl is way too happy about all of this. Like, let's do the next one. I'm like, girl, you are way too happy.
I do not want to know what her story is.
I do. I want to know, like, what made you go this way?
No.
I have this weird feeling it's like the other little girls.
Yep.
Yeah. I just... Yeah. It's obviously a mask, but they're like sort of... well, the episode is called Found Family. So it's like they're good influences on each other.
Yeah.
But
I just like how the episode ends. It's what, a family pack of condoms?
Yeah. Ultra thin. Family planning, ultra thin condoms.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, whatever.
It's like,
family planning. That's the name of the episode, I think. Yeah. Is the next episode the anime production one?
No, it's the group of
it's the
housewives
gossiping.
Oh yeah, that
I'm
episode.
I'm like, what is this about? Until the very end, I'm like, what is this about? I don't like this at all.
Sense.
It's random bullshit.
No.
I don't like this.
This is a very, very important episode.
it is important, yes.
Because it's showing us how Little Slugger is gaining power. He's talked about. He draws power from rumor and belief in him. He is what they call, or sort of, this is my theory, is he's sort of like a tulpa. You guys know what a tulpa is?
Yeah.
Just like a being created from belief. And so these rumors being spread and all these stories, and even if people are like, yeah, it's ridiculous, I don't actually believe it, but some small part of them does, that's how he gains power.
I figured she kept trying to call the other ones out, but
yeah,
they're like, no.
You didn't see that baseball game? Come on,
we all saw that baseball game.
I'm like,
What? Dude, that was awesome.
Little Sluggers up to bat.
I was more just hilarious. Like, dude, send it here. This way they'll hit it to me. I'm like, I don't think that's how that works exactly, but maybe
They want the glory.
Yeah, they were the
like,
glory.
and then Little Slugger shows up. I'm like, all right, fucking
But no,
charge them out.
It is very important for understanding how Little Slugger works and how like he becomes more powerful now. So,
it's a very important episode, but at the same time, it's probably one of my least favorite episodes.
Yeah, but also just at the end where she fought the one.
I hate her.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh,
She
my
finds
God.
her husband bleeding, and she's like,
how did
Little
it
Slugger
happen?
attacked.
You gotta tell me.
You gotta tell me. Call an ambulance. You
Give
gotta
me-
tell me how he attacked you.
Yeah,
Every
and
little.
that's gotta be. Yeah, they throw in a little bit of social commentary of like, you care more about your reputation than your husband, and it's like, the show's icky, and I feel disgusted watching it.
So this is the episode where I got your nickname from. I can't remember why I got Cake Puncher though.
Oh, because the boxer.
That's what it was. Sorry, the boxer.
Who would run up, see some food, punch it out, go and find some more
Punches
food,
have the power of cakes.
And for some reason, when they was telling that story, I was
and then he ate all the food.
Yeah, no, when they was telling that
Well,
story,
Little Slugger made that man fat.
that's what I was expecting. It's just him eating. I'm like, you were.
Man, our
See some plate of
waveforms are
sushi.
crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, that episode was great. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
He's not the one that said he didn't like it. It was me.
Well, I also didn't like it until the end, where I'm like, okay, this is funny, but like,
It's probably one of my least favorite episodes, but it's a very
Dude,
important.
I
I
feel
saw
like
that
that's
guy
this
puking
whole
knowledge.
show.
I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's
I am
escaping him. It's
Yeah.
literally escaping him. He's crammed in too much of his studying, and it's leaking out.
I don't know. I still wanted to know more about him attacking the guy on the island, though. The fake story.
Forgot about that one.
Is that a periscope? No, it's a bat.
just
Little Slugger just rises out of the ocean.
That episode's 10 out of 10. Alright, so after that, episode 10 is the animation episode.
Okay. And this is sort of the last of these little, like, in-between episodes before it gets back to being, like, focusing on Maniwa and
Yes.
the... What's
Chief.
Akari. And
Well, no,
Detective.
the lady, the
Oh, Tsukiko.
Tsukiko. So, I'm not for sure exactly what happens in this episode. I think, because at one point it's like, he delivered the VHS, but I'm like, I think that was a dream.
He never
Yes.
Like,
delivered
did
it.
everybody in the production get murdered?
Yeah, he killed them all.
Did he kill them all?
I
Yeah.
think
Because
he
I
killed
thought
them
it
all.
was like the guy that was his boss that was like, you're useless. That like, we saw like him with a bloody bat at one point. And then he got taken out by the one guy.
I'm pretty sure
that guy...
He killed them all.
And, like, it's almost a flashback episode where, as he's driving, he's just remembering why he did everything, is the way I took it, at least. Or it's just him going back to back and just passing it out.
So you think the guy killed all the people, not Little Slugger?
Yes.
Yes.
I think Little Slugger killed him.
Okay. Oh.
So that one, I'm just like, I'm not for sure exactly what's happening.
And then we have the little dog popping up and explaining all the
all the animation.
This is the executive producer.
And I'm like, are they just making a joke about how hard animation is in this?
Yeah, it's very like, it's a very meta episode. There's one, it felt like every time she introduced somebody, you're like, the color director is in charge of the colors. It's like, color director's in charge of directing the colors.
Like, this is also the episode that really made me hate that dog.
Or it's like, the director of art, also known as the art
though, I
director.
also did not like the dog in the very first episode when he first started talking either.
Oh no, that's creepy as hell.
Very creepy.
I don't trust this dog.
No.
I thought someone was a ventriloquist and just talking through the dog. I'm like, oh.
And then it started moving.
Yeah, and then I'm like, alright.
I want to. A note I wrote after this episode was this was some Sonny Boy shit.
Yeah.
Not maybe this episode, but I was kind of thinking as the
show is progressing.
Whole, I'm like, this is some. It's kind of the same narrative as Sonny Boy, where you get kind of.
You get a break from your main characters a bit.
Yes.
Even though the main characters in Sunny Boy are kind of always present,
Mm-hmm.
they're just like, hey, we're kind of dealing with these other conflicts for people that people are having.
Just know if you would agree with me with that.
Yeah, this shares some vibes with Sunny Boy. The Sunny Boy is a lot more hopeful and confusing, whereas this is everything is wrong with the world and confusing. You guys can't see Alex is nodding along yet.
Yeah. Podcast things.
Yeah. This is not a video podcast. Nope.
But yep, episode 11 is the chief's wife.
Which I love this episode.
This is a good episode.
This is like yes, this is how you fight like Little Slugger. He's not all powerful. He can be resisted with a strong will.
The fact that he gets buff and then starts beating.
He's just like, I can't hit this girl. She's too powerful. She's not scared of me.
She's not submitted.
You sort of need to be like scared of me.
This is like a really depressing episode too, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's talking about all these ups and downs. Like, oh God, I feel so bad for you. But you're so strong.
And then you realize that she's the wife of the chief detective.
I'm like, please no.
And it's like, it's very much, this is where you get that Little Slugger is an escape. Because she, for a moment, wanted an escape. And that called him. But then she reaffirmed her strength. And she's like, no, I love my husband. No, I'm going to fucking fight. I don't care if it's hopeless. I've got hope. Like,
yep.
And like, sure enough, like, she still like dies at the last episode.
But it's not through escapism.
But it's not through escapism. She fought.
Yeah.
You know, she fought. She kept fighting her disease and kept trying to live. And kept trying to be
her
a
death
good wife.
is what basically brought the end of Little Slugger anyways.
Yeah. Well, it inspired Ikari to give up this...
the fake dream?
This fantasy simple land that he fell into. Like
that the thief showed him to? Like
the former burglar showed him. It's like, yeah, you used to be a burglar, I used to be a police officer, and now we're both security guards.
What was like the three things that should never change? Burglars have burlap sacks, the noodles have only 3 shapes, and
and what was the other one? I almost wrote it down, but I'm like, nah, it's not important.
Anyway, Brock's looking it up, it looks like. But
I'm trying, but
yeah, he's like, there's no place for me in this world anymore. I'm an old-fashioned guy. And Burglar's like, yeah, I'm old-fashioned too, so there's no place for an old-fashioned burglar. And then eventually they're just like, actually, follow me. And then now we're in, was it Pleasantville? What's the name of that movie?
I think
where he goes into like the Andy Griffith type show or whatever.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's like everything is simple here. You don't have to worry about complex things like your wife dying and the fact that she couldn't bear children and
the type of cop you are is no longer
needed. Like you're a hero here.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that it's like a completely different animation style. Everybody's like a freaking 2D,
badly drawn.
basically
color.
It's a cardboard
2D.
cutout on a stick.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
Because again, it's simple. It's just not, we could do that back in the, back in the 50s. Like, damn, look at this cartoon.
Yeah.
Look at this Lord of the Rings cartoon.
All right, episode 12. I'm not getting into that.
You got 3 Lord of the Rings fans on this podcast, and 1 guy who doesn't get it.
Nope.
Yeah, it's me. I'm not the Lord of the Rings fan. I'm sorry. Wait.
Episode 12. Maniwa is Radar Man.
That's it. This is
the best nickname too.
Yeah, this is where I'm like, he looks so ridiculous.
I asked
Even
you
when
guys if you wanted nicknames. One of you would have been Radar Man. I'm not going to give Johnny Radar Man. It's too cool.
No, but this is like, despite how ridiculous he looks in real life and in like his fantasy costume, he's so cool in this episode.
The way I took it is, he found all of the legendary items that make you OP, but they don't match.
Yeah.
So
it's just like, I need to get... I think it's just him getting into the unreality of it. It's like, yep, I'm going to wear a cape. I'm going to wear fucking Digimon goggles. We're going to...
get a sword.
There's an umbrella.
Which is umbrella.
And then later a bat.
Yeah, it's like that was cool when he got the bat and he's like, yes.
The sword!
The sword of slaying Little Slugger.
Right.
The sword of cutting through lies and bullshit. You granted me a powerful artifact. And the guy's just like, yeah, man, my daughter killed her dog.
Don't know what to tell you. I guess you're going to have the bat. Please leave. You're freaking me out.
It's like, thank you, wise master.
Is this also where he gets healed by the dolls?
Yeah, the dolls heal him, which is like...
Oh, yeah.
But, like, they were the real people, and then that one, like, guy who creates the dolls, like, don't worry about him, he's just a doll.
He only does things while we're watching.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Well,
he was another client of Maria's.
Okay.
And, like, when he was done with Marie, he was, like, talking to the dolls.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it was the doll he was making love to.
Yeah.
He's very much in his own
either.
little world, is, I guess, the thing. And he treats the dolls like people, so in this fucked up world where, hey, there's this overwhelming supernatural presence, and now other supernatural things can kind of take effect, they're the actually useful ones, and he's not, is sort of the...
Gotcha.
The nurse doll goes, hey, I can actually be useful now.
I can heal you.
And her comically big nails.
One of those... There's so many side characters in the dub that are voiced by Wendy Lee, who's the voice of Haruhi, so I'm just like, man, Haruhi's all over this.
But also we learned that Moromi and Slugger are the same thing. They're
yes.
both kind of manifestations of escapism, but in 2 different spectrums.
Well, we learned that in the wife's episode.
Okay.
And then she tells that to Manny Wa. It's like, how were you able to, like, get him to run away? It's like, well, he ran away after I told him that he was the same thing as that dog.
And then, like,
and that's what leads him to go and talk to her dad.
Well, he talks to the other guy, too. Like, or he talked to the old man first, and then found her. The old man told him to seek out something with a dog.
Dance with a rabbit.
Dance with a rabbit.
Which brought him to the dolls. Which then also, like...
pointed him to the article about...
Yeah.
They're like, we can use your detective brain to figure this out. And it's like, I think he's just, like, figuring it out, but uses this as, like, the metaphor for, like, they hooked him up to computers. Like, okay, here's this other Little Slugger article from 10 years ago that's not called Little Slugger, but it fits the same description. And then he's like, okay, I gotta go talk to the dad.
We never said whose dad it was, though, did we?
I mean, it's Tsukiko's
dad.
Yeah.
We
But that
didn't
wasn't
say
obvious.
that.
Tsukiko also has escaped to the same world. Or no, it's like sort of at the end of this where Maniwa is trying to be like, Tsukiko, you have to like admit to this.
Yeah.
You have to admit that you killed your fucking dog. And then she escapes to Simple Town 2 with Moromi, which then leaves... Moromi was sort of... Not only was Moromi also Little Slugger, And like as Little Slugger's power grew, Moromi's power was.
But it was also limiting Little Slugger's power.
Yeah, it was limiting his influence because they had a different form of escape.
Yeah.
Now the only form of escape is Little Slugger, and he's just an amorphous black blob consuming Tokyo.
Yes.
Because he's unchecked now.
Yeah.
He's not restrained.
It's like as soon as her and Moromi went into the Simple World, all the Moromis in the entire city disappeared.
Yeah.
People went crazy.
Yeah.
Just Tickle Me Elmo all over again.
Oh no! Tickle Me Elmo!
Have you guys heard my Tickle Me Elmo joke?
No.
So, the world loved Tickle Me Elmo, but they weren't ready for Squeeze Me Till I Fart Grover.
Okay.
Episode 13.
The last episode.
Last episode.
Also called The Last Episode.
So, yep. Tsukiko had a pet dog, accidentally killed it. Made up the Slugger story so that her dad wouldn't be mad at her.
Okay, to be fair, she accidentally let go of its leash and it got hit by a car. She didn't, like, beat the dog to death accidentally.
Yeah, it's like she had a puppy.
She wasn't
let
playing.
go and it went.
She wasn't blindfolded and trying to hit a pinata and smash the dog apart with a baseball bat.
No,
She was distracted and let go of its leash and ran into the road and it
died.
And she knew that she'd get in trouble for it, and it was such a big ask to get a puppy that she didn't want to deal with that.
So she made up a story.
Yeah.
About Little Slugger.
And the dad blames himself. He's like, I think I was too hard on her. Like, so I saw past the bullshit, but I let her go anyway because I knew that she gave me the bullshit. It was my fault that she didn't feel, open enough to share with me. But this is sort of like you're a victim, but you're still causing problems. You got to stop the cycle, sort of thing.
Yeah, you just have to.
You have to acknowledge your past.
Yeah, you can't. It's
Run away.
okay that you're a victim, and it sucks that happened, but you can't let it define your life like this. As I think, sort of the message that we're getting here, and sort of the message that hey, you shouldn't just escape. You should deal with your problems. I mean, maybe I'm putting words in Satoshi Kon's mouth, but I definitely feel like those were the two big takeaways of this show. Is that, and also just that. Human nature can be very despicable. He wanted to show the depths of depravity, and he wanted to show what the collective psyche, how much damage it could cause. But like the morals to take away from this show, I think, are what I said before, which is like own up to your past, and don't rely on escapism. Escapism, I believe escapism is fine, but you can't just live for escapism.
Yeah.
It's only good for periods.
Yeah, it's for relaxing.
Specifically the Edo period.
But like you shouldn't the Edo period. You shouldn't let it let it control your life.
Yes.
Like
correct.
So Isekai's escapism?
Sure.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Man, that should have been an episode. Guys, his way of escaping is just get isekai.
That's literally episode 5.
That is episode 5. Well, okay.
Kind of.
Kind of.
He didn't like.
Well, so is him going to Simple World.
That is,
Yeah.
it's true. Good
Yeah.
point.
Because during that point, he
Simple
sees his
is an
dying
isekai.
wife.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't like this.
his wife is great. I love that character.
Best character in the show.
Realize how long her neck was?
Oh yeah, Ben pointed out like, man, she's got a really long neck. I'm like, you had to say something. I didn't notice it till you said it. But damn it, that is a long ass neck. Are you a giraffe? Did he marry a giraffe?
Okay. But
No wonder you couldn't have children. That was a giraffe, sir.
You were fucking a giraffe this whole time. That was his escapism. Picturing his wife as not a giraffe, but as a person.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, Little Slugger destroys Tokyo, but they defeat him somehow. I forget. I think she just owns up to it, right?
Yeah.
No, you're missing the part where Maniwal just gets ragdolled into a building. Is like a hilarious scene to me for some reason. It's like,
The chief also helps because he's just like, yeah, I don't belong in this world.
Like, you're not
but,
my daughter. He smashes that world to pieces, brings her back to the real world, and then kind of goes to her memory of like, hey, this is when the dog died, and then they're like, no, it's a little slugger, and she then goes and talks to the dog and is like, hey, I'm sorry I did this to you, and that's what defeats him. Mm-hmm. So it's again owning up to your past, admitting your mistakes.
We find out that all of Tokyo is destroyed.
Yeah, like it caused,
really surprised.
It caused literal damage.
Yes.
It wasn't like fully destroyed, but there's like buildings missing pieces, and it's like it got bombed.
Yeah, there was damage.
So it's very much
that's
like
a lot of damage.
Again,
wow.
Going back to Satoshi Kon's theme of like, the line between reality and fiction and imagination, or what our cognitive beliefs, is very much blurred in this, as it is in a lot of his works.
Yes. Which we'll talk about next week.
Next fortnight. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to say about Paranoia Agent?
No, not
Can't
really.
believe
Just watch it.
A 6.
Just watch it. That's all I gotta say. Just watch it.
Of course, Brock would give it a 6.
I know that you're like, a lot of times you judge stuff on like how often you are to like rewatch it, sort of thing. Was that you didn't like this, or that you don't want to experience it again?
It's mostly just not that. I'd probably be up to have rewatched it in a few years when I've kind of forgotten it, just to re-remember all this. But just the way the episode's laid out, the fact that you meet these characters and then you don't see them again until the end. I get why it has you're going through the city and all the stories. I just didn't like it. It's just not my sort of show.
You want to follow a main character,
or a main cast more than just
and like you sort of get that with Ikari and Maniwa, but there's a lot of episodes that they're very small parts in or not in whatsoever.
Yeah.
So.
And I like it when things do that.
But they're very much, and Tsukiko, they're very much the 3 like main characters. Mm-hmm. Like, and even Maniwa is sort of a side character.
Like,
I just
Ikari
remember
is more of a main character than Maniwa is.
Mm, very much so. Yes.
They are my 2 favorite characters in the show, though.
Yeah. I would say watch it. I really like the dub. I should probably give the sub a watch the next time I watch it in another decade. 10 years. But yeah, that's Paranoia Agent. Ben, you're the host, so you've got to give all the follow us shit at the end.
Okay. Thanks for listening. Follow us on, website formerly known as Twitter?
Yeah. Yep. X, the website formerly known as Twitter.
At anime_territory. And we're on basically every podcast service.
And YouTube.
Yep.
You're now leaving the anime territory.
Goodbye.